Obviously, programmatic has become a very important kind of part of the agency world, the advertising world. I think what's interesting, and certainly from our stance at AOL, whilst we recognise it's massively important and it is a big part of our business, we think that actually the real opportunity is how we connect that to the other side. You need to have the content as well as a distribution platform, and I think that's the real opportunity, is how do we use programmatic to bring out those stories, to bring out that content at scale. And I think there's very few publishers actually who can operate in that space, and that's really where we see ourselves as being able to help the agencies to understand the opportunity, to scale that opportunity, and fundamentally still to be good at storytelling and how we use technology to assist that. I think the role of the agency is actually getting more important. So there's been a lot of discussion about do agencies get disintermediated in this world of programmatic and technology? Do they become less important? I think actually it's the opposite. I think agencies are becoming more important. I think all this technology is wonderful, but actually it creates a lot of confusion, it creates lots of issues, and actually it's the role of the agency in being able to help go through that, and the trust, frankly, that agencies can develop with clients that's really key. And I think, again, our role as a publisher is to help the agencies in that angle. So I think we're moving away from a world where it's just going to be about pure automation. It's how we can help work with those agencies to, as I say, to use that technology to provide better stories for their clients, better solutions. And therefore I think, the agency world will become far more important even still into next year and the year beyond. I think video is massively important, and again becomes more important as we move year on year. I mean, I read a stat the other day which said that 80% of online advertising budgets could be video by the year 2016. So if you take that into mind, then I think video is massively important. Again, I think the opportunity around video is the ability to both create that content and also distribute that content at scale. So as a business, AOL are very focused on producing original content, on actually creating what we would call premium, and alongside that developing and building our network to distribute that. And I think, again, that's a really important point of difference as we move forward, is our ability to create that content with our agency partners, with clients, and also push that out at scale. I think that's really what we're focused on as a business. So obviously, as you point out, our opportunity is to scale that into Europe and beyond. And I think, one of the true things with video is that it is a global opportunity, and it's an opportunity that we should look at globally. AOL Premium Video is obviously rolled out into the UK and Canada as well as the US. One of the key things we're launching this October is also creating our originals into the UK market. So that's been incredibly successful for us in the US, and that's something we're looking to replicate into the UK. And that's obviously the creation of, premium short-form programming that can then be used as a distribution platform for our clients. So again, we have a very strong focus on premium, and whilst user-generated video is obviously going to remain and have a place in the video world, we believe that from brands and advertisers' point of view, it is the premium angle where the real growth and the real opportunity will be. What's really interesting from where we sit is that actually the opportunity in terms of distribution is across all different platforms. So whilst historically desktop or laptop has been a key area, and obviously tablets and mobile recently has grown as well, things like games consoles are becoming a much bigger opportunity and growing very quickly. Interestingly, we also now have distribution for our AOL onto Apple TV and also into airline programming. So, we believe that anywhere that there is a screen is potentially a good opportunity. And I think what's interesting is when you talk to consumers, they don't necessarily make the breakdown between devices. Often it's based on the actual situation they're in, the time of day. So I think the opportunity for us is to look at the consumer as one person who uses multiple devices, and that kind of flows in our strategy of how we're working to cover all those different platforms and delivery mechanisms. I think at Demexco this year we're going to hear a lot of the use of the word programmatic. I mean, I sort of believe if we could create a machine that turned that word into energy, we might solve the energy crisis for a couple of days. But being serious for a minute, I think there's two things we're going to hear around the debate on programmatic, which I think will be the dominant topic. Firstly, it will be how are agencies monetizing that? How are people getting paid for it? Obviously a big source of topic discussion at the moment, and I think that's definitely going to be central to the debate. I think the other area will also be how do brands start to use programmatic in a more creative and more kind of storytelling way. So it's a very interesting area for me, and something I was talking to Matt Seiler from IPG about recently. was, you know, how in this world of kind of programmatic automation, how does storytelling play out? And I think actually a lot of brands have realised that programmatic, and certainly this was his view, can really support that. So I think there'll be a lot of discussion, hopefully, and debate about how do brands move into that space using programmatic, using that across video, higher impact formats. And I think for me, that's a really exciting area which we can explore with our agency partners.